or let's see. I just really don't know. But so far we haven't had a need for it to come back here. Maybe it's the one that locks this guy together here. That sort of helps. So you can see here, this guy isn't even in line. Speaking of which, so let's see if I can move this guy back. No wonder he was struggling. So I gotta shift this guy out. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can lift this guy back onto here, or else he's not gonna want to be happy with us for a while. Look at that. This guy's feet's not even in there, and we're already kind of pulled it forward. So let's see if I can pull this guy back. Yeah, these things are super fragile. So you just want to make sure you got everything forcefully right. So yeah, listen right here. It's probably more, maybe even on this side, huh? We'll see. But I don't see anything to hold it. If anything like this will grip it, you'll see there's a bolt hole or something. But I'm not seeing a bolt hole there anyway. So fortunately we got this lock already, so it's kind of hard to pull back and forth on these guys. Oh, okay, so this one's fine. This one's the one that needs it the most. So we probably have to lift up. There we go. Lift up on him. Now as we're lifting up on him, he needs to move back for us. Fortunately, he's not moving back for us. So I gotta get this guy situated real quick here. He needs to stay latched up. And we'll find a suitable replacement for this soon, or put him wherever he needs to be put in. So I'm going to put him back in the spot. Alright, so it's kind of playing with Legos. Everything is just interconnecting. Gotta get this side in there. There we go. There we go. Alright. Now this side's in, this side might be popping out. We gotta get this side too now. Now you should be able to push forward a little bit better. I guess we were trying to force everything in there. There we go. Nice. Yeah, you don't want to force it too much, so there we go. This will, even without bolts, they should be pretty darn snug. I'm glad we did a little inspection there and saw that guy was still out and open. See, now it pushes in more. Still not perfectly flush yet, but it's fine because we haven't really forced to bolt this in yet. And we will do that. But I just want to see. I'm not sure this is the same silicone that actually dries and hardens. It doesn't seem like it is. So we might need to consider that. We're going to redo the silicone on this guy here. And we probably should do him while he's stiff like this, in this position, because this is where he's going to come back to anyway, where his final resting spot is. So let's go and take out his old silicone real quick, if we can. Let's see here. Look at that. It's got a little bit of electric on this area there. Nasty silicone. Left over anyway. Oh, look at that. See, we don't want to put too much pressure in that bended area. I'm doing some ripping downward. We'll apply a new coat of silicone for him. Keep him fresh. Okay, let's go and do that. And before we apply new silicone, we might even want to braid him in, or not. I mean, he might be okay, but let's just go and put some new silicone on him. First of all, let's get all the old stuff out. Yeah, these silicone here doesn't get hard, so it stays flexible. I did put a different kind of silicone, I guess, on my car, and it stayed really nice and hard. It actually held a whole bumper on the car. I know, putting silicone on your bumper to glue your bumper on, right? You realize how hard it is to get the proper clamp, or if you don't have the clamp to it. So how strong silicone could actually help you. And it's also waterproof, so when it rains, you don't have no more problem. Come on. There's always some cleanup afterwards, right? The more I peel this back, the more I'm afraid I'm going to peel the wires off. I mean, he's definitely hooked still on there with a strand of wire. And I don't want to really push my luck. But I need to clean him. or else the new silicone is not going to adhesive to it. Okay, there we go. I think I got every bit of him, or somewhat. Alright, so let's go ahead and prepare him for some fresh silicone here. And I guess we don't really have the other nozzle to really clean, but let's go and just clean with a little bit shop. And let's see what best we could do here. We might even droop him down, get him out of the way. Or we keep him in here. We just need to make sure we clean. Let me get a nice chair, that's it. And then we'll get started on our handlebar. Face it this way. I know it's opposite from the light, bear with me. If I cover it like this, you guys can see it much better. Okay, so see how this guy has a nice seal, the brown wire, and then unfortunately our, I guess, is yellow and green doesn't. And this probably was an issue that APM was talking about, what end it goes to make a full loop. Well, we know it had to work because it's a three-phase wire, meaning if there wasn't 3 wires here when we hit our brake lever, it wouldn't make this any bigger, it wouldn't make this any brighter red, because it runs as a running light, just a regular standard red light. Then when you hit the brake lever, it bursts it more redder. So that's why it needs 3 wires going to it. And then on the bottom ends also you have 2 terminals too. It'll have 2 little soldered terminals on these bulbs on the other end. Back here, I'll take it off so you can show it to you. See there, right there. If it just has one perfectly round one, like this one, but in the center only, then it's not like a 2-phase or 2-element bulb. There's dielectric grease in here, so I just gotta be cautious. This is brand new. It has shown a little bit nasty wear. Okay, let's put this bulb back in. There you can see here little pinholes. It goes in this pinhole there. And then there's one more on this side. So we'll put these pinholes back in alignment. Either way, it doesn't really matter. They stay. Alright. Don't want to put dielectric grease on the bulb areas or the LEDs, so we clean those guys off. Just where pretty much our wiring, really. Alright, so let's see here if I can work with this. I'm going to take this cap full of silicone. Really, I usually have the little thing where it's more incision, but I think this situation might be okay to, first of all, let me clean my fingertips here, get all the silicone off of it. Kind of greasy because I'm going to be using it to sort of mold this where I need it to go. So there we go. See here my silicone. It's dry, it's not coming out anyway. Alright, so we're going to peel the top. The top, I guess, is our throwaway. See that right there? That rubber booger? There you go. There it goes. Fresh. The smell is like, just like vinegar gel. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go and apply, perfectly apply a dap right on there. In fact, here, I'll do it this way. You want maybe even... There we go. I didn't want to get it on the green wire, but unfortunately it was there. I'll try to wipe them off now. So he's got a good clean glop all around him, even areas where I didn't want. So I did want him to have his supporting wires connected to him, so it might not be a bad thing for that to happen, but we'll see. You can see here, but I definitely want him to be mostly all around. So make sure he gets it on the other side. See there? He's still pretty naked on the back end. He doesn't have any kind of silicone. So what I'm going to do is going to squirt some silicone here as well. And don't worry, this will cure in 24 hours because we're not really doing anything to the back end until we get those 2 P-clamps. So let me go ahead and do this, finish them off on the back side here. You want to put pressure on there and squeeze because you want the silicone to go in, right? You don't want it just to hang out. There we go. So it's building a little silicone cone. I could say silicone cone. There we go. So we got all areas now. It's okay, it's not going anywhere. Lift it back up so I can sculpture him a little bit better, or make him sort of better. We'll see if I can do it better or improve on his cone shape here. Trying to get the insulator out of the way for a second. Okay, you can see here, this is kind of built there, so I'm just going to wipe it downward a little bit. Try to get the silicone to where I need it to go. Because when it dries, it's not going to take any different shape than what you have at last. This is pretty damn good. It's got a glop of it. This is so when it hardens, okay. Thing is, the silicone I got in here is probably what causes to have a little bit of trouble bolting it on or turning it lockwise. So let me go and wipe this guy off, make sure there's no silicone. It's not super glue or anything, you can always peel it back off. But now he's a little bit supported, not by himself, but with the green wire too now, so that's kind of pretty cool. Green wire and brown wire, both the three amigos. See if I can get them all in there. Try to do it a nice, evenly pattern. But the main thing is to get that yellow one fully on there. And I think the silicone is mostly going inside between them, so I do want more of it focusing on the areas where it needs it. So mainly focusing on this guy here, the yellow one. It's getting messy now. I wish I can reverse this back. It's getting really messy. I might have to wipe and reapply some areas, or just continue on. It's a pretty generous portion of silicone though. So he's covered between pretty much the black wire and the other one. So let me do a little bit of wiping and cleaning a little bit out of the areas that I don't want. Okay, so there's a little rubber boot here too that actually comes off. So that's like the one that actually compresses it and forces it to not vibrate off easily. It's that little rubber boot. Getting all kinds of hands dirty now. Well, I didn't want to use my towel for it, but I had no choice. Because I think this one I can shape a little bit out of the way. Create a little bit more pattern there. More cleaner than my finger could have done. I can't believe it. Normally I could do everything with my finger. But this towel here kind of helps wipe out some of the excessive silicone. I think we got him where we want him. Look like the three amigos are gonna bound together, sort of. But I really want to get more to make sure he's covered, so I'll probably put another clean dab of silicone in that area all only. But I know for sure now he's all covered with silicone all around him. He's got a nice glaze of silicone, but I want to reinforce the side where the yellow one and green one mash up. So I'm going to go ahead and take my silicone again. Try to lay it thicker on the back area here. Okay. Come forward, lay it thicker on the area here, almost like a nice rubber band of silicone. So we got a little band of silicone going on here, but I believe the weak side is still exposing, and it's right here. We'll continue on. There we go. Okay, how about that? All around 360, I believe we got him. It's even got a little curvature around the green one, just for extra. And I'm going to try to shape it a little bit better. Kind of pushing the excessive, so I'm not squeezing any more out. I'm just trying to push a little excessive silicone in a sort of a round SOS pattern. There we go. It's got a little bit on the brown one. It's got a little bit on the... This is the area here. Coming back over here again. Alright. I had to use my finger because the last time I did that didn't do too well, so maybe I can just kind of... I want it to land really good. So it's like sculpting. Okay. Dragging it back and forth, really. Alright, so I think we got plenty of silicone areas that we need to focus on. And remove it from areas that doesn't need to be focused on, and bring it back to the ones that we do. Oh, all right, let me get the camera back straightened. Oh no, look at that, he messed up my silicone, the camera tripod. That's all right, we tried our best. Yeah, look at that, he messed it up. I had a nice silicone party going on here and it messed it up. Damn it. Alright, it's fine. Let me use my thumb, try to shape it a little bit better. What I'm trying to do is just shape it almost like a cake master, and I'm probably not doing it better with this. Maybe I can use like what do you call that, the razor blade. Not the razor blade, I'll use a plastic one. See if I can shape a little bit better the silicone. I think with the plastic one, it might take a little bit more cleaner shape than my thumb, because my thumb probably is not perfectly flat. So I'll try to like sort of do a 360. See that? Bend it, compress it. That's not bad. And just get off the areas that doesn't need to be so much. Kind of sculpturing and preparing the silicone to where it needs to dry and take shape to sort of protect around the areas. I don't think this is doing any better for me. I think I would have been better off leaving it alone. Maybe, let's see. Yeah. Does it do anything for us really? I don't know, it feels like I keep adding more silicone to make up for this guy. There, but at least I can pull some out when I needed areas. Okay. See if I can. It's getting crazy now. We were almost done. Alright, so what I'm doing, I'm scraping it off. I'll use the tube to apply a newer, like perfectly gel again. So let me see if I can do that, pull that one off. I'm just gonna wipe a little bit of the areas off, clean and clear of where it doesn't need silicone. Like brush it back forward there. This area right here. We don't want to seal our rubber here. Because that's the one that creates a seal when it needs to. Clean it from the wiring harness. It's getting crazy and smelly. This guy's getting dirty here. Try to just focus on that one area. There we go. All right. Hands getting dirty as well. Okay, let's see what we're going to focus on. Okay, we're trying to capture, mainly the idea is this rip area right here, right? So we're going to start him fresh again, okay? Well, he's got some little bit of silicone to help him. Okay, so as we're building that glop, we're twisting it around. We're adding more as we go. And we're working that same glop evenly. Okay, there, it's nice. And so we want to keep it with that same kind of nice gloppy look. We don't want a whole bunch of shredded looking scraps. Okay, we're almost getting to 360 here. So I'm going to put a little bit more in the glop here, building that form. Okay, now we got to work our way to smoothing all this form out. I think we got it. Sort of. Not always happy, but I think I feel comfortable now that the green, the brown, and everything's going to help bound it. Let's just remove a little bit off the back, shall we? If we can. This thing was a little bit too bigger. Oh shoot, I got the cap on. Cut my hand a little bit. Get a little bit of abrasion. It's like playing with a cake frosting. The minute you touch it, it goes everywhere. Alright, I think we got it. So there we go. A nice glop of silicone for you. And I was hoping to maybe pour it downward more, but I'm kind of afraid if I do that, it's going to maybe take off some of the sides, which I don't want. But however, I am going to clean around it though. Twist it. I think we should be okay now. This has got a clunk of silicone, but it needs to stretch and do its thing. Let's see if I can. Just want to press here a little bit. See, every time I do that, I create more work for myself. This guy's got the glop. These guys don't really need the glop, but it was kind of nice to have that glop built on them anyway. So I wish I had the glop back on here. So I'll probably need to make that little glop again. This is the third time now. It's okay, I got a little bit of glop here on this guy. So let's see, we can do that. There we go. Just want to give it that. Hopefully I'm not making it worse, but just want to give it that. It seems like it needs this glop to help actually do a better shape. You do it by your hand. It doesn't seem like it actually helps it. Just makes it worse, or it spreads it thinner because it sticks to your hand, but it doesn't stick to its own glop. So, and it's a good way that it doesn't do that. We can take shape of it with its own glop here. See, this looks much better. I'm just not 100% happy yet, but try and move the glop. It's like art. Almost you gotta learn how to sculpture. Just like we did our JB Weld, huh? Takes a little time. Yeah, see this guy? We need to bring him over. Scoop him a little bit over out of there. Bring him over to this side. That's where he needs it the most. We want the reinforcement to mainly focus again. We want the glop everywhere, but we want mainly the main big glop to be more on the side of where the yellow and green wires is. So that's what I'm aiming for, to smooth in this area here. And I think I should stop while I'm ahead now, even though it's more it's becoming more of a glop of big proportion than when we first started it. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting your finger into the silicone because it just changes the shape dramatically. So just use the glop and kind of reform it with the cap. You'll be better off. Trust me on that one. Because these things will stick to your hand too much. It pulls it away from the surface and sticks to your hand, and that's not what you really want. But if you have it hanging in the tube opening, you can shape it, and it's not really doing anything much other than, see, I'm pushing the glop around where I need it to go. Kind of evenly, sort of. See, too much glop on that one green backing area. Too much glop here too. It's like, where's not enough glop? So I'm almost kind of wrapping it around again, going backwards. Yeah, it's not really pretty. I wouldn't want this on my scooter. Alright, but let's just wait till it dries in there. There we go. I wish I can get a nice shape of it. More like a clear, sharp, scrape, clean look, you know, instead of all this turning mushy look. Still has a turning mushy look, which I don't care for. Like right there. I'm not squeezing any more out, I'm just moving the same glop around, and it looked like it's hardening little by little. So it's getting a little bit easier to move around because it's a little bit more stiffer now to work with. It's not just so loosely like before. So I was tempted to put my finger in there. Then I realized, no, you did that before, where it gets you. I really want it to be a nice, just shook a little bit out. I hate to waste, but I had no choice. It was either that or keep doing a lot more work and ship shaping it with the glop that was hanging on there. Look at that one, looks perfect right here. Kind of a nice swirl. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna stop while I am ahead, but at the same time, let me see if I can wipe a little bit off the areas that doesn't need silicone. Gotta be careful when you're wiping it. You want to make sure you're not dragging the silicone, the areas that it needs to stay on there. So I'm careful while I'm wiping. I'm trying to narrow the tissue only in the area that I need to wipe it. Look at that, the silicone almost broke off. Why did the silicone break off like that? It created like a hole. But there's a glop here, which is perfect. We don't. Let me try to fill in this glop again, or put it down a little bit. See right here. I think because we're messing with almost a partially dried silicone, just using this as a scraper tool, but it's facing opposite from the glop. I have a little bit of glop here on my other side of my. See there? That's one that needs a glop. So I'm just dragging the glop, sort of. Thank goodness we have a place for it to rest inside this, so nothing interferes with it, but man, it sure is pretty weird. So I want to get the, it's kind of smoother. It just doesn't look smooth, you know? Looks like that. Looks like tissue. Looks like tissue bits.